Legacy of Destruction, bringing back more legacy support. This time on uses Melodius with pendulums. Yes, pendulum Melodius. So let's begin. So we start off with Refrain the Melodius Songstress, which is a level 4 light fairy pendulum monster with 1600 attack, 800 defense, scale 1, and its pendulum effect is that you can target one Melodius fusion monster you control, send one Melodius monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you do, that monster gets attack points equal to the monster's level times 200 until the end of the turn. It's not entirely too bad, and it's basically a foolish burial card for basically your level 8 Melodius Maestras. And also because your fusion monsters technically have low attack, so giving them even more power just helps. But the monster effect is that if this card's no more special summon, you can add one Melodius monster from your deck to your hand. And then the second effect is that if a Melodius fusion monster is special summoned to your field while this card is face up on your extra deck, you can put this card to the pen zone. And both effects are hard once per turn. So not only that this is a recyclable pendulum card, this basically does your search, which of course enables combo plays. It just becomes a 3-up because mainly for the monster effect. Next, Couplet the Melodius Songstress, which is a level 5 light fairy pendulum monster with 1200 attack, 2000 defense, scale of 9. This is so you can pendulum summon your level 8 monsters. Its pendulum effect is that you cannot special summon pendulum monsters except light, and this effect cannot be negated. Funny, it says light monsters, meaning you have more flexibility, but okay. But anyway, second effect, which is hard once per turn, if you control no face-up non-Melodius monsters, you can add one Melodius spell and trap from your deck to your hand. This is just really good because it searches up your key pieces again. This time it's spell and traps. And funny, it says non-Melodius, although I get why, because of the flowers that also works with Gem Knights. So I kind of get the reasoning here, but in that, this is actually just really good for the pendulum effect. But the monster effect is that if this card is added to your hand except from drawing, you can reveal it and then special summon one level 4 lower Melodius monster from your hand or graveyard. Too bad it says level 4 or lower, so it cannot be itself, but this effect isn't too bad, especially it just becomes a search target, which Melodius has quite a good amount. Which the second effect is that if a Melodius monster is fusion summoned to your field while this card is face up in your extra deck, place it to the pendulum zone. And both effects are hard once per turn. So this is just pretty decent as your search target and basically your combo extension play, while also having a decent pendulum effect that can basically search up basically any spell and trap in your deck. The only downside is that this is a level 5, so you will add some extra effort to summoning this if you do not want to send this to the graveyard. And now to the new fusion monsters. The first one being Spectacular Batch the Melodius Maestra. It's a level 7 light fairy fusion monster with 2500 attack, 1800 defense, requires 2 Melodius monsters, and its effect is that the first one's a hard once per turn. This card is special summon, you can special summon one Melodius monster from your deck, and no level restriction, so it could even be your level 8 Melodius Maestra. But the second effect is that your Melodius fusion monsters activate effects cannot be negated while you control this face-up fusion summon card, which is pretty helpful because they have continuous effects where it cannot be destroyed. So basically add some extra protection here. And this is itself is also a continuous effect, in which we go to the third effect, which is also hard once per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Melodius monster in your graveyard except itself to special summon in defense. Overall not too bad, it just extends play and also protects other Melodius. Next, Flowering Etoile the Melodius Grand Chore, which is a level 8 light fairy fusion monster with 2800 attack, 1500 defense, requires one Melodius Maestra along with 2 Melodius monsters, and its first effect is which is hard once per turn. It's a quick effect where you can banish any number of Melodius monsters you control until the end phase, then you can return up to the number of face-up cards your opponent controls to the hand. I say this is okay for removal, but temporary banish can still hurt you a bit, I'm just saying. But the second effect is that if this face-up fusion card in the owner's control leaves the field by your opponent, you can special summon one Melodius monster from your deck or extra deck except itself. Overall not too bad. The first effect can be a little disruptive, especially since it's a quick effect, and the fact that it doesn't destroy, which of course can actually hinder your opponent, although returning from hand isn't as good as it used to be either, but still. The second effect, where if you lose this card that was fusion summoned, you basically just get another boss monster. It could be another one of your protected boss monsters as well. Too bad it doesn't count as a fusion summon though, but overall this isn't too bad. Finally, to the last card, which is a spell, Melodius Concert, which is a normal spell, and its effect is that fusion summon one fairy fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand, field, and or pendulum zone as material. Not too bad, especially since it says fairy fusion monster, so it technically doesn't have to be Melodius. But the second effect is that if a Melodius fusion monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is there, even during damage step, you can put this card to the bottom deck to draw a card. This isn't too bad because this is basically a recyclable fusion card that is still searchable because you have Melodius searching for spells and traps, and both effects are both hard once per turn. Obviously run this because this is basically your archetype fusion card, but I just don't like the fact that the fusion summoning is once per turn on the fusion card, but luckily you have other ways to do fusion summoning, so this is entirely too bad. And besides, you're still going to use Poly in this deck because Poly is going to be quite important for the deck, and you're also going to have the flowers for fusion summoning as well. So that's it for the new Melodius support in Legacy of Destruction. What do you guys think of it? Yes, once again, after so long without any support for Melodius, I'm glad that Yuzu's gained some loving treatment. And Yuzu already got shafted as it was, so getting more support for Bracelet Girls is pretty nice. Let's see, we got Wind Witch and Lyricus Lunius, so hopefully Luna Lights or Moonlight soon. But overall, I am happy just to see more support for Bracelet Girls, especially after this one where it got badly shafted and hasn't got support for a long time. But on that, that's it for this, and see you next time.